Hi, I'm Lenore Waring. There are two kinds of change. Change imposed on someone, it typically falls apart. But organic change develops root by root and form by form from within. I have been studying such changes for decades. Then I met Joan McNichols and discovered how she helped learning different kids learn organically. And I was inspired to learn her strategies. Today I want to talk a bit about the process and why it works much better than tutoring for certain students. Then I'll talk about the difference between an assessment done by me or somebody else and a full psychoeducational battery done by a licensed psychologist, and why that might be important for someone you know. Through the Dyslexia Foundation Outreach Services and McNichols Learning Center, we have been helping families, children, and adults with learning differences for over 30 years. Although we specialize training in the multisensory techniques of educational therapists, our clients call us tutors. We don't mind. We happily tutor as needed. It is the other stuff that sets us apart. So, let's look at tutor versus educational therapist. Tutor. Two quick syllables. Educational therapist. 8 long syllables. Plus, the term educational therapist might sound important, but honestly, could you put it to music? If you can, please let me know. And the word therapy, what's that about? Yes, most of us use some kind of therapy, sometimes physical, psychological, but educational too? Why do we just call ourselves dyslexia specialists? That's too limited. There are other learning differences. What about reading specialists? Too limited again. Math problems are part of the mix. Plus, we also work with autism spectrum students, and they have their own issues. Everybody requires patience, listening, and responding to where they are rather than making them come to where we are. But parents are still going to say to their friends, no, Johnny can't come over tonight, he's got tutoring. The idea of getting after school help is common. So, where do students with learning differences end up? Often, usually at a tutoring center. Why? Because we have not managed to differentiate ourselves from those useful people. But we are not them, and they are not us. One size does not fit all. So, what is the difference between tutors and educational therapists? If you check on a website like Glassdoor, you will find that tutors are typically college students working part time. They must use prepared curricula designed by the tutoring company to be uniform and effective. With learning different students, they cannot hope to succeed. They don't have the tools. Educational therapists are specialists who do not need and cannot use curricula. Why? Because each of our students has different strengths and different gaps in their understanding. Here, we have to work one on one with each student, identifying each gap as we come upon it. On our own time, we prepare each individual plan to explore deeper with discussion and critical thinking, like looking at a statue. You go slowly and patiently around it. Each angle is different. While it's all part of the same statue, each step tells you, shows you something new about it and how it relates to the whole. Or a good Samaritan comes upon an accident victim. They give comfort and support. maybe are shocked by the messy looking head wound. Maybe even the victim doesn't know there's anything wrong and insists he's fine. But the paramedic gets the whole picture and stabilizes the leg fracture first. All our Common Core standards-based work use customized, multi-sensor techniques from a huge inventory of material. This gives the student a three-dimensional experience with their studies. One example, for a dyscalculic child, math problems on screenshots and worksheets aren't effective. First, to get a deeper understanding of this foreign language called math, the child builds structural models of the concepts, whether it's addition or algebra. Second, we do no timed work, nor memorizing, because issues like short-term memory, visual spacing difficulties, and word retrieval challenges make such rote work useless. And third, there are very few computerized teaching programs that support deep thinking. On the contrary, fMRI studies have shown over and over that the human brain views digital media as an image, thus reducing the critical thinking our brains apply to the information. So, what to do, where to start? The struggling child or adult knows there's something wrong and feels a failure when not properly guided. Many, including myself, do assess. Only a licensed psychologist can determine the extent and hidden aspects of a learning difference by giving a full psychoeducational battery of testing, including the WISC-4 or 5. It's the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for children, or a totally different series of tests for an older teen or an adult. And intelligence? It's such a misunderstood term. Imagine 10 aspects of 5 different intelligences, which will spike high or low on a graph to see how complicated it is. So, we've got to get over the fear of learning that our child is slow when we thought he or she was brilliant. Usually they are a mix. And if you think of a child in a classroom looking and listening to other kids' confident answers when they may know an answer, but cannot for the life of them explain it, you are dealing with a learning different child who is falling through the cracks and is probably brilliant. It breaks my heart to see how fearful and discouraged children are when they first come to our center. And it is our greatest thrill to see them come out of their shells and start smiling. We are proud of them and so humbled by their drive, by their willingness to work once they see they can. Our center serves our community as completely as possible by providing not only one-on-one, custom, multi-sensory education for our students, but also testing by a licensed psychologist for those who need it. This is for people who need answers fast. She comes usually within a week or two, by appointment only, and uses one of our rooms to make privately with the client in a warm and safe setting. We get the test results back within a few days and include a conference to go over them in a language that can be understood. Also, testing here takes about 3 hours, not 8 hours to 3 days, and costs much, much less than the $4,000 or more dollars usually quoted at other places. Yes, we can assess, and often do. But this assessment is not the same as testing. The assessment done by me or tutoring center or school is not the same thing as a licensed psychologist's signed report, detailed accommodations, which provide answers that must be followed by the school's IEPs individualized education plans. This written, signed report opens doors and determines both the schools and the college board's actions and beyond to the workplace. This is one vestige of the government program No Child Left Behind that still works. Feel free to call our center at 949-642-7303 to find out how and where and why it might be important for you or your child. Do not let anyone say they will grow out of it. They won't. But they will be more prepared to deal with it and feel better about themselves in the process. Call Outreach Services in McNichols Learning Center for information. Again, our phone number is 949-642-7303. We are in Newport Beach, California, near Westcliff Drive. Thank you for watching and sharing it, hopefully, with someone who might need to know something different.